Thank you. So when I look at an exploration company, I kind of go through a checklist. What's the share structure look like? What's the shareholder base like? Do they got cash to execute on what they want to do? Is the management, do they have the jurisdictional and technical expertise for where they're working and the deposits they're looking for, and the passion and the drive to deliver? And probably the biggest one is what's the exploration asset they're looking at or they're exploring? Is it, when I say tier one exploration asset, is it the type of exploration project that can become a tier one mine that'll be attractive to the majors of the world? And then obviously valuation. I've come to my own conclusion. I'll let you guys come to yours at the end of this. But what we're called HighGold. We're called HighGold for a reason, because we're focused on high-grade gold. We're focused on high-grade gold in North America, which commands a premium. Our flagship is the Johnson Tract project. It's a pretty fascinating project for a couple of reasons. One is its history. It's basically been hidden from the market, from kind of the exploration world for about 25 years. I'd never heard of it. Two, it's produced some just absolutely outstanding historic results. Multiple 50 to 100 meter plus drill intersections of better than 10 grams. There's not a lot of systems out there that generate those kind of grades and widths, and it's got tremendous exploration upside. In addition to that, we've got it overshadowed a little bit, and certainly not quite as developed our assets in Ontario, but they're a fantastic collection of properties with some historic past production of fabulous grade. That sample there is in the Royal Ontario Museum. It's over 10,000 ounces per ton. It's about this big. It's pretty neat stuff. As far as capital structure goes, I mean, we've got 40 million shares outstanding. We're essentially a brand new company. We were listed in September. We closed an $8 million financing, or 7.65 on listing. We did another raise about 2 months after that to raise another $9 million. And we're sitting on about $14 million cash right now after completing a drill program. We've got a market cap of somewhere around 50 million. And a great roster of shareholders includes, there's a large senior gold producer that's on the roster, blue chip U.S. institutions, and some of the better known names, mining entrepreneurs in the business. Who we are, we're guys that are really focused on the exploration process. I've got a real strong technical background. I've got a lot of history in Alaska, advancing and discovering deposits there. HighGold's VP Exploration. He's got a tremendous history. He was VP Exploration for Frontier, Mark O'Day's company. He was taken over for $2.3 billion by Newmont, involved with multiple discoveries, and the rest of our team has a lot of experience advancing projects and going through takeovers. Our board, the three independents here: Mike Cinnamon, great guy, CFO for B2 Gold; Michael Gray, a well-respected mining analyst; and Lance Miller, PhD geologist, who's VP of Natural Resources for one of the native corporations in Alaska where we operate. Where we are, so we're in a very accessible part of Alaska. Being near tidewater, doesn't matter where you are, is huge, particularly if you're a project that also is going to produce base metals. This is a really unique project that it's got high-grade gold, but also high-grade base metals. We're basically 5 miles to the coast, about 20 kilometer road miles. The project does come with easement rights, road and port easement rights. We are on First Nations lands in Alaska, native lands. Just a sort of a satellite image draped over topography here to give you an idea of the landscape. A lot of ice and snow in the bottom left. That's not our property. We're kind of start on the edge of that and go towards the coast. Nice, low, broad valleys, pretty easy access to tidewater, but tidewater's huge with projects like these. Multiple prospects over the property area. It's about, 10 miles north-south in terms of size. This is where the project really stands out, though, is the drill results that it's generated. So this is a long section. Shown here are all the majority of the drill holes that we've completed since going public. We completed a 9-hole drill program. Our first order of business here was really to quantify what we have. This was a project that was discovered by Anaconda Mining, one of the big copper mining companies in the 80s. Basically, things went south in Chile, and it ultimately passed, and they kind of went under, and the project passed hands to Westman. They operated until the early 90s, and then it went back to the owners and has sat there for 25 years. So all that data is pretty old data, and so first order business for us was to one, I guess, confirm their past results. So two of our holes are twin holes. And the rest were scattered around to get a better feel for that deposit, fill in some large gaps, see if we could take some of the higher grade up close to the surface, and really understand what we have. And you don't have to read these off, but 107 meters of 12.5 grams, 7% zinc, 0.8 copper. There's multiple 50 to 100 meters plus of just outstanding grade. Gold, you'd be happy to have these gold grades. You'd be happy to have these base metal grades. We have both. Real takeaway on this one is, the continuity, it's really continuous from surface down to about 275 meters. It's cut off at depth by a structure, and I'm going to go into that more later. It is open. What we found is the grade seems to increase with depth. Those yellow stars are 1,000 gram meter product intersections. That's taking the gold equivalent grade, multiply it times the length of the intersection, so tremendously wide. Just to put it in perspective, grade is fantastic, but grade and width is even better, because width and grade makes margin. And just for context, the grade we have here is commonly, in Timmins Camp, maybe you'd have a 2 meter wide zone. Our true width here is about 40 meters. If you stepped out 100 meters and hit another 40 meters, that's equivalent to stepping out 2 kilometers on a 2 meter wide zone. So you can build ounces and tons really fast in these systems. This is a cross-section just to give you an idea of that continuity of that grade. It's anywhere from 20 to 50 meters plus in true width. Just really good continuity, really good thickness, really good mine orientation. You'll see that fault on the right-hand side there. It's called the dacite fault. It cuts off the down-dip projection of the deposit. Some of the best grade is down there. We've got 70 meters of 20 grams, 100 meters of 12 grams. And so where that deposit is gone is our primary exploration target here. We have multiple other targets, but there's a real obvious target to go to, and we know where it has gone. Just keeping with the cross-section here, one of the things that was a pleasant surprise of this current program is we're really going out to kind of quantify and understand what we had. Pushed one of the holes a little deep, and intersected an entirely new zone, the footwall zone. Less gold, but very significant copper and silver grades. It was 20 meters of 2.5% copper and almost 5% zinc, about an ounce silver. That's wide open. It seems to be at a different orientation. It's a different character and style than the rest of the mineralization, but really it's just speaking to the fact that this project's grossly underexplored, and kind of without even really trying, we tapped into something new already. Looking at that offset target, it's the real, this is one of these deals, if you can pick up the deposit on the other side, we're really in business. This is a plan view map. You can see that orange is the alteration. It's got kind of a north-south trend, the red being the deposit itself. So it's basically taken what would have been continuous north-south, and on this, I guess that dacite fault that runs east, northeast, southwest across there, it slid the whole system up to the northeast. It's down deeper, but we know it's there. It's actually been hit. The last guys kind of put a couple of holes into it and then stopped dead in their tracks. A lot of other prospects around here. There's actually a north-south trend to the mineralization. Come by the booth and I can give you a lot more detail on the geology, but it's really fun in terms of the exploration upside. Scale out, and this is part of a district scale trend. We've got 10 or 12 kilometers of multiple prospects. You can fly along and see visible alteration zones, good surface chemistry. Only one of these northern prospects seen any drilling. Very similar grade. There's high-grade gold and zinc and similar alteration to the north as we've seen to the south. It's a really unusual deposit in terms of what exactly it is, in terms of VMS to epithermal. Again, we can give you some more details on that if you come by and talk to us. So that's Johnson. Looking at Ontario, we're in the classic gold belt in Canada. We've got two very large land positions, both north and south of Timmins. Idea there is taking new concept to a mature district. And then as well, we've got the Munro Croesus, which is a former producer, very small scale, sort of intermittently from 1914 into the 30s, but just some tremendously high grade came out of there. And it's an area that has really seen no modern systematic exploration. We've had kind of controls on this for a long time through another company, but weren't able to explore it. So we're very excited to get out there, and we will be drilling there very soon. There's an over a kilometer-long vein structure. There's a very specific environment where that kind of gold you see in that picture drops out, but it's tied to a much longer vein structure, and there's parallel veins like that that have not seen any drilling. It's quite a shocker, actually. In the Timmins camp, a place as mature as Timmins has gold-bearing veins at surface that don't have drill holes in them. And we're right next to a couple of large deposits, so it's an environment we like and we'll keep exploring. Where we're at for timeline has been an exciting, start for us. As I say, we started trading in September, getting a lot more eyes on the story with the kind of drill intersections we've been generating. We did some surface work just before Christmas in Timmins. That's prepped us for a drill program that we're going to start here late February through March and April. We will also generate a maiden resource for the Johnson project sometime probably in March, April. I can't put an exact time on it. And then we'll be back drilling at Johnson. We've got a very healthy treasury to go execute. And, this is one of those deposits. If we find more of it, it's what everyone wants. Thank you.